Today we celebrate 30 years. Our mission has changed, our reach has expanded, but our dedication is unwavering. We train the greatest warriors in the Department of Defense, ready at a moment's notice across the globe. We uphold the legacy of the 17th. Our heritage begins with a symbol. The World War I battle credits came from the 95th Aero Squadron. The 95th was a founding member of the 17th. In 1931, when the 17th Pursuit Group made its first appearance. In 1935, it assumed a new designation, the 17th Attack Group. Transitioning from P-12 and P-26s to the Northrop A-17 attack bomber, and 4 years later, we were redesignated again. After acquiring both the Douglas B-18 and the B-23, we became the 17th Bombardment Group. The 17th Bombardment Group earned its fame after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. The 17th flew anti-submarine patrols with the new B-25 Mitchell. They were the first operational unit to fly these aircraft and gained a second first on Christmas Eve of 1941 when one of the Mitchells dropped 4 300-pound bombs on a Japanese submarine near the mouth of the Columbia River. 3 months later and 3,000 miles away, they became the first to sink submarines on both coasts of the United States. 120 volunteers transferred to Eglin Field to practice short takeoffs and landings. 600 miles off the east coast of mainland Japan, on the morning of April 18, 1942, 16 B-25s waited on the U.S. Navy aircraft carrier, the USS Hornet. They became the first combat launch of bombers from an aircraft carrier and the first American aerial attack on the Japanese mainland during the now infamous Doolittle Raid. Our own Goodfellow graduate First Lieutenant Bill Farrow was the 16th B-25 to leave the deck of the USS Hornet. After the Doolittle Raid, the 17th Bombardment Group continued to play a major role in every theater of World War II. In total, the group flew 606 combat missions in 11 campaigns over 124 days of combat before returning to the United States and being inactivated in November of 1945. They were the first American air unit to receive the French War Cross with palm for their cunning raids. 7 years later, in 1952, the 17th returned once more as the 17th Bombardment Wing to fight in the Korean War. The 17th logged nearly 11,000 combat sorties flying the B-26B and B-26C Invader, whose glass nose they painted black, adopting the name Black Knights. In 1962, the 17th was called to action yet again, this time assigned to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base under the Strategic Air Command. They maintained long-range refueling and strategic bombing capability, flying both the Boeing KC-135 Stratotanker and the B-52 Stratofortress. The wing also provided B-52 crews for the war in Southeast Asia. One of those crews, flying a Linebacker II mission on Christmas Eve in 1972, scored the last air-to-air kill of an enemy aircraft in a B-52. After moving around the country for a few years, the 17th was redesignated as a reconnaissance wing in 1982. They were the first and only TR-1 wing in the United States Air Force and heavily supported intelligence requirements during the Persian Gulf War. After the Cold War, the United States began closing bases and excess wings through inactivations. Air Force Chief of Staff General Tony McPeak realized by getting rid of these wings, we were slowly chipping away at what made the Air Force so great. General McPeak had this to say: "If we're not careful, we'll whittle away at our legacy. We'll create a new kind of hollow Air Force, one that's lost its heritage, its heroes, its famous campaigns, its core values." In order to maintain their legacy, the Air Force restored their most distinguished flags. General McPeak started at the beginning with the 13 oldest wings, one of which was our very own 17th Bombardment Wing. The 17th was pulled from retirement once more and returned to active duty at Goodfellow Air Force Base on July 1, 1993. The 17th Training Wing would be responsible for training all ISR and firefighter professionals while continuing the legacy of the 17th. Over the past 30 years, Goodfellow has seen many changes. We've replaced much of the original World War II construction, and we've more than doubled our graduates. We have overcome challenges never seen before in the U.S. military. Our partnership with the San Angelo community is the strongest in all of the Air Force. We have revolutionized training and modernized the classroom. We created an efficient hybrid learning environment. Our graduates support missions around the globe, touching every branch of the military. Our mission never stopped when others took a knee. We come from a proud heritage at the 17th, a tradition of honor and a legacy of valor. We are the 17th.